It's the Pirates taking the high ground on AT&T Sportsnet.
He struck him out! Clear the deck! Cannonball coming! The Buccos are back in the burn for a brief three-game homestand against the Colorado Rockies. The first and only trip the Rockies will make into Pittsburgh. The red-hot 11-4 Pittsburgh Pirates on another very cold evening in western Pennsylvania. The Bucs and the Rockies. Greg Brown, Steve Blass, Robbie and Smikowski with you. Steve, the Pirates playing great baseball, but they suffered a tough blow today when they found out that their spark plug, Josh Harrison, would be out for about 6 weeks.
Yeah, and that's going to hurt. You know, he's the regular guy. He's out there every night. And when you think of Josh Harrison and all your regulars, you want them in there as often as you can have them. You want them playing 150 ball games. So we know what Josh Harrison brings to the table, his energy, spark plug leading off, and we've come to expect him on a regular basis out there. So it's not going to be easy replacing him.
Well, Allegheny Health Network injury update. We take a look at the move that was made. Josh Harrison placed on the 10-day disabled list with a broken hand. They recall Max Moroff from AAA Indianapolis. They add a lefty to the bullpen, Enny Romero, and they've optioned Dovydas Neverauskas back down to AAA Indianapolis. So moves that have been made today. And meanwhile, who's going to be the double play partner now with Jordy Mercer, a guy we're familiar with, Steve, a left-handed hitter. He's at the top of the lineup tonight. We're talking about Adam Frazier.
Yeah, and you really don't lose all that much offensively. We know what he can do with a bat. He's been very, very good wherever he's been playing, and he can play all over the place. Now, the responsibilities he's going to have at second base are going to really tell the story because it is a very busy position. So he's going to have to, I think, elevate his game defensively and be a little more consistent and be that good partner for Jordy Mercer. And we'll see what he's going to do because he's going to get an opportunity to play on a regular basis for quite a bit. So it's important for him not only to have that bat, that good energy, that good speed, but also get the job done with the glove.
See if Stephen Brault can get the job done with that left-handed arm and his bat. Bucs, Rockies are coming up next. perfect 2-0 record so far for the lefty, and facing the Colorado Rockies, who just coming off a series win in Washington, D.C. over the Nationals over the weekend. These two clubs split their 6-game season series last year, and it is a cold, frigid night. Just had some snow flurries a moment ago. After 3 straight days of 80-degree weather in Miami.
Yeah, they're not expecting much of an accumulation.
Oh, good, okay. So we keep playing then, huh?
Yeah. The lifts will be open at the ski areas.
Stephen Brault will be facing this lineup for Muddy Black's Colorado Rockies. DJ LeMahieu will lead things off as the lineup has been changed somewhat. Chris Iannetta hits second. Charlie Blackmon, normally the leadoff man, but Nolan Arenado is serving his suspension, so Blackmon hits third, second in the National League with 6 homers. Then it's Ian Desmond and Carlos Gonzalez. Trevor Story is the shortstop. Pat Valaika plays third base in Arenado's absence. Gerardo Parra, the veteran, in left, and German Marquez on the hill.
Early on for Stephen Brault, making start number 4, 13 innings. And look at the home run, just 1 home run given up, and it's going to be part of the story of Brault against the home run, because the Rockies, when they hit the ball, they hit it a long way. We were saying, we heard today that 20% of their hits are home runs. That's phenomenal. So, among other things, keep the ball in the ballpark, and so far he's done a decent job doing that.
On the defense, it's Corey Dickerson, Starling Marte, Gregory Polanco in the outfield left to right, Colin Moran, Jordy Mercer. Nothing changes on the left side. Josh Bell at first, but Adam Frazier is at second base, his 50th career start at second. Francisco Cervelli catching Stephen Brault. So spotlight on Adam Frazier.
Yeah, and 50 starts, so he knows the mechanics. He knows the rules of the game out there and what to do and what are his responsibilities. It's just the execution. Not that he's a bad defensive player, but I think he'd be the one to tell you he'd like to be more consistent. Brault has just had one appearance out of the bullpen against the Rockies, so not much of a history there.
What a history with Brault in Denver. He went to Regis University in Denver, studying music.
A little snow in the background there.
That's pretty nice, huh?
Yeah,
pretty good look.
Blue background, white snow. Yeah.
This is something else, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
April the 16th.
Wow.
That ball really took off, didn't it?
Yep. Greg, this is so difficult. I wasn't a position player, but to go out there inning after inning after inning and trying to be loose and have any flow and feel and rhythm and comfort to play, it's got to be very, very difficult. You wonder, you and I were talking to someone early in the season or in spring training about the fact that between innings, going just running as hard as you can and trying to get as loose as you can, just going out after the 3rd out to take your defensive position. And you see the ski masks and guys trying to get the muscles working.
How about ski mask and sunglasses on the top? That was a classic shot.
Well, you got everything covered. Yeah. You got it all.
And now 2-2 on DJ LeMahieu. Colin Moran, that good, heavy, thick red beard helps. Yep. And these Buccos are used to it. Aside from those games in Miami, they've been playing in temperatures about 40 degrees average.
Yes. No.
Home plate umpire Dan Asanya.
And you know, that first game in Florida when you guys lost, I said, you got to get him out of that warm weather and get him back here in the cold. But recovered nicely to take the next 2.
And a leadoff walk to DJ LeMahieu. So he'll now face the veteran catcher Chris Iannetta. Asanya is the home plate umpire. Jerry Davis is the crew chief. Pat Hoberg at third. And what a great night it must be for Jeremy Rehack. He is the first base umpire and played baseball at Franklin Regional. Went to OU, lives in Cranberry. A rookie umpire, made his major league debut last week out west. But tonight back home and umpiring a major league game.
Right in the middle of a snow squall.
Yeah. So now Chris Iannetta hitting .273. his return to the Rockies, the team that drafted him out of the University of North Carolina back in 2004. Brault having early command issues, walking LeMahieu and falling behind Iannetta.
And you don't want to fool around with this Rockies lineup. In terms of team batting average, they're last in the National League. That is just hard to believe, but
that won't last.
That will not last. But when they hit the ball, and they will hit the ball a lot, they hit a lot of home runs. You don't want to help them out by putting people on the base paths. Just doesn't work.
2-0 the count. And that's cracked toward right center field. Marte is going to watch this sail over his head up against the fence. And Stu Cole is going to wave the runner home. A little hesitation, and that will cost the Pirates a run. It's 1-0.
So these light-hitting Rockies early in the season give you a little early taste of what can happen when you put people on the base paths.
Iannetta driving it hard off the padded wall in right center.
That ball right down Broadway, that's a ball that's going to be hit by good hitters, and it was. That ball got out there in a hurry. The hesitation.
There didn't seem to be a lot of urgency there on either, but he's, I mean, I think if you get the ball quickly, you got a shot. A little hesitation by Marte, a little hesitation by Frazier. Now it is Charlie Blackmon. Veteran Iannetta doubles in the early lead. Blackmon, who drove in 104 runs as a leadoff hitter last year, a major league record for a leadoff man. And this will allow Iannetta to go to third.
Well, this is certainly not the kind of start you want.
Sloppy start here.
And yesterday it was a tough start, but the bases were loaded, nobody out, and Nova got out of it by just giving up 1 run. And that was an awkward
almost looked like a cross-up.
Yeah, a piece of glove work by Cervelli.
Wild pitch has Iannetta at third. There's Ivan Nova. Settled down after, well, really bad luck the first 3 batters.
Yeah.
Ground ball hits.
Wasn't much
then
happening.
Shut it down. Runner's going to score on this play. 2-0, 1 out. Blackmon gets his 12th RBI. Chris Iannetta driving in a run and scoring a run. Charlie Blackmon led the league in hitting last year, along with those 104 runs batted in. The Bucks find themselves down 2-0. Here's Ian Desmond, another veteran in this lineup. Desmond hitting just a .190 early going. Hit the go-ahead home run in the 9th inning with 2 strikes yesterday in D.C. Rockies took 3 of 4 from the Nationals. This will not be easy. Brault. Well, good work for Brault. The second out.
Showed good patience there. Sometimes you get a little antsy waiting for that ball to come down and you hurry the rest of the play, but he waited and really set his back foot and made a good strong throw.
Brault really helps himself in the other areas. Fields his position so well, such a good athlete, and of course he can hit. He faces Carlos Gonzalez. Cargo with 3 homers. Rockies weren't sure whether he was going to return. Thought he'd get a big deal as a free agent, but 2 weeks into spring training, he still hadn't signed, so he settled for a 1-year deal, returning to the Colorado Rockies, now at the age of 32.
Stacking up for him to pull the ball.
Last year at 262. His 3-time All-Star in his 10th season with the Rockies. The other way, line drive, Dickerson there. So a little shaky start for Brault and the Bucks. Down early, 2-zip. That's Gregory Polanco, and what a day for Starling Marte yesterday. 5 hits. He's now hit safely in 6 straight plate appearances. Josh Bell hits cleanup, then it's Corey Dickerson, the former Colorado Rocky, Francisco Cervelli behind the plate, Colin Moran, Jordy Mercer, Stephen Brault. German Marquez on the hill.
Making start number 4. He is 0-1, 4.97 ERA. A couple starts ago, the Atlanta Braves knocked him around a good bit, creating that high ERA, but they like him. 23 years old, out of Venezuela, and the Pirates got a little taste of him last year when he went 2-0 against them.
Adam Frazier. Pirates went 33-30 with Frazier as the leadoff hitter last year.
Now, one thing about Marquez, 13 innings, 10 walks, so command issues.
Patience on the part of the Pirates.
Yes.
Chopped. Second baseman, he's a Gold Glover, DJ LeMahieu. With Arenado out of there, they lose a handful of Gold Gloves, but still got Gerardo Parra, a couple of Gold Gloves on his mantle. Charlie Blackmon is excellent in center. Carlos Gonzalez has 3 Gold Gloves. Ian Desmond, very athletic at first. LeMahieu, Trevor Story, Pat Valleca, and behind the dish, Chris Iannetta. Cargo with 3 Gold Gloves out in right field. Chris Iannetta, good defensive catcher, working with German Marquez. There's Gregory Polanco. Had a hit yesterday, but he's just 1 for his last 13, 5 out of his last 30.
Hot streaks, cold streaks. Boy, he red hot coming out of the chute, coming up from Florida.
Still with 15 runs batted in. Sends this one toward left center. Charlie Blackmon. 2 outs. Starling Marte comes to the plate. 5 hits, career high yesterday for Starling Marte. Of course, it's Jackie Robinson Day, so all players in baseball wearing number 42. You can see Polanco at the hit to the left side, the base hit to left, 2 of those. Then he singled to center field in his 7th inning at bat. And then against Michi Tazawa, the home run. 5 for 5, 4 runs batted in. And going back to his last at bat, Saturday night, when he started that rally with the 1-out bunt single, he's hit safely in 6 straight plate appearances. The Pirates' and Major League record is 10. Belongs to Kai Kyler. And 10 straight hits in 1925.
But can Starling do it in the snow? That's the question.
True. Very good question.
Good take there on a good-looking breaking ball by Marquez, who was 11-7 last year and 29 starts, 25 home runs. So maybe command issue, maybe a little long ball issue, but they like him a lot. Came over from Tampa Bay. He was in a deal that involved Dickerson too, wasn't he?
Yes.
Back. Was that deal?
Yep.
Yep.
January of 2016. The Rockies got Marquez and a closer / setup man, lefty Jake McGee. Corey Dickerson and a minor league infielder went to the Rays. Still full count on Marte. His average up now to 305.
You just wonder what these kind of conditions do to the players. We know physically it's tough to get the muscles right. How about mentally? Just trying to keep your focus and your attention and your concentration.
That's something that Marte talked about after the game yesterday, about the mental aspect of just hitting and concentrating and showing the patience. It's really been remarkable to see Marte's patience early on this season. Another example of it, that is his 9th walk.
Maybe the longer you play, the more discipline you feel like you have.
9 walks, by the way, tied with Gregory Polanco for the team lead. 3 passes. He didn't get his 9th walk last year until his 34th game, Marte. Always a threat to go.
Sometimes youth and patience doesn't equate.
There he goes. Taken for a ball. High throw into center. Marte takes off for third. Not that big a deal with 2 outs, but you're closer to home plate, and Chris Iannetta will be charged with the error. Marte, his 5th steal in 7 attempts.
Yeah, you don't always take off once they throw the ball away, but when they give you the extra 90 feet like they do here, you go ahead and take it. He sees that the ball is just kind of meandering out into center field, and it's a leisurely stroll over to third. Why not?
And with the shift on Marte, we've seen a couple steals of home in the last less than a year. Valleca playing a deep short there. You see it.
Wow.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and there's the proof of the pudding right there. Now that's an alarm. That's a red flag for the pitcher. He goes over, but still, there's no problem getting back. So you not only have a chance to steal home, you can get really into the pitcher's head. That's not fun to look at.
I guess the one thing, Steve, you have to wonder about is with Josh Bell. How much of a bother is that for him, the batter? And time is called as Marte continues this little dance.
Sure.
Now, Valleca did come in a couple steps there. This is fun.
This is fun. You got baseball in the snow. I mean, you don't always have that.
1-2 on Bell. 10 runs batted in. What does StatCast say regarding this lead? Let's see.
15. It's going to be a sizable number.
Now Marquez says take that. He strikes out Josh Bell. 2-0 after 1. at him, and look at Arenado. Man, he almost landed one vicious punch. Quite a scrum that lasted for a while. Ejections, suspensions.
All points bulletin.
And Marquez, German Marquez, who's pitching tonight, started that game, and so because of that fracas, he lasted only 3 innings. And Arenado again decided to start serving his suspension as Trevor Story swings the first pitch. Polanco. One out. That's what they missed this series. He started serving the suspension on Saturday, so he won't play in this series. He's just absolutely one of the all-around great players in Major League Baseball.
Yep.
Nobody plays better at third, and he hits for average. He drives in runs, important runs, makes important plays. He is just so good.
And make no mistake about it, that is a big deal for Stephen Brault to not to have to work with him.
I will say, I talked to Bob Walk, and I asked Bob, if you had to, replace Arenado with someone, what would you do? He says, well, I'd go to my high school, Hart High School. Take anybody from there, and lo and behold, Hart High School product, Pat Valaika.
There he is.
Nice play there.
Terry's on it.
Yeah,
he is
man down there. This is fun.
Yep.
She was right. Talk about Gold Gloves. Valaika hit .258 last year. He's just 2 for 31 so far this season. He was a 9th round pick out of UCLA in 2013, but a Hart High School product.
How many major leaguers have come out of Hart? Do we have
several?
Yeah.
I mean,
got to use both hands.
It's pretty impressive.
Yep.
Of course, Tyler Glass now with the Pirates, and Hart High School product. See, yeah, he knows it. Hart High. Oh, that cost Brault a strike. Boxed there by Cervelli. Oh, that's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's twice now.
Yeah, on the wild pitch before.
But you see, that was a strike.
Yeah, he came across the whole strike zone kind of awkwardly with the glove in a strange position. Last homestand, we saw a game or two where having some difficulty receiving the ball.
You just hope that it has nothing to do with him getting hit by the pitch on the hand in the 7th inning yesterday. You wouldn't think so. I think he'd be playing after effects. Now it's 3-2 on Valaika. And line towards center. And Marte makes the play.
That's a sparkler.
Starling Marte robs Valaika of a hit with a sensational catch.
It was hit so hard, it hung up long enough. This ball's tattooed. There it is in real time. Here it is.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo. Well done.
A lot of leather all the way around it. Yep, hard enough to have it hold up.
Marte and Polanco both had their struggles down in Florida, in Bradenton. But you see Marte getting more and more comfortable out there. Polanco, never gonna, you wouldn't think, win a Gold Glove, but let's make the plays. Gerardo Parra, Gold Glover.
And another one of those veterans. When you say veterans, these guys look the part too, Greg. I mean, they look grizzled and they look like they've been around, and they look like it's all business.
They do have a veteran-laden lineup. Parra will turn 31 in 3 weeks. He's in his 3rd season with the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon had the extension signed first week of April. It'll carry through at least 2021. As Parra misses a bunt try.
Blackmon looks like the stand-in for DiCaprio in The Revenant.
Yeah.
Yep. I can picture him getting buried alive and
yeah.
then crawling back out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Practically eaten by a bear.
Yeah.
31 years old himself. Now 3-2 on Para.
31 is certainly a veteran presence in the game of baseball. Not retirement age, but up there.
And Moran. Whoa. This ball started drift on him. That wind took him toward the rolled up tarp, but he stayed with it. 1-2-3 go the Rockies.
By the law firm of Bordas & Bordas. Bordas & Bordas, fighting for justice. And by Day Automotive, we're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Oh, look at this.
There it is.
Man, how about that? What a shot. And inside the ballpark. Bundled up and having fun nonetheless.
Boy, thank you for coming out.
Yep.
You are
Troopers.
Pittsburgh Pirate fans.
Here is Corey Dickerson. How about Corey Sullivan, who does some sideline work for the Rockies, the former NA product and former Rocky back home in Pittsburgh. He was out there in short sleeve shirt. Golf
Of course,
shirt.
it was part of the act,
Well,
too.
yeah.
they came at him with capes and
There he is now. He's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It was part of the act. It's a homecoming of sorts for some folks here
Gotta
tonight.
feel good. Yep.
And Corey Dickerson playing against his former club, the team that drafted him. This is it. This is part of the act Steve's talking about.
Let's get the cape.
North Allegheny's Corey Sullivan.
Get the scarf. Yeah, that's right. There we go.
Uh-huh. I'm sure he started out by saying, you know, this is no big deal to Western Pennsylvania.
Right.
2-2 on Dickerson. Made his major league debut in 2013 with these Rockies. Robbie?
Well, I talked to Corey Dickerson, he's batting. I talked to Corey Sullivan pregame. He said our opening night was 17 degrees, so this must be warm and balmy for him. 36 feels like 27 at first pitch.
Yeah.
He's got a point.
How's that fire pit coming down there?
Yeah.
Is that a capital upgrade for the budget next year, Steve?
Yes,
I think we're on to something. I like that.
Absolutely. You need comfort to show talent. That's right.
You need comfort to show talent. There's a new one, a new Blassism. If you care, prepare. And
if you care, prepare.
You need comfort to show talent. Well, Corey Dickerson on a 10-game hitting streak didn't have enough exit velocity off that bat, so LeMahieu makes the play. 1 out. So you need comfort to show talent, and there you have it, right there.
Well,
that is comfort.
You can show a lot of things with this outfit.
Very nice.
But you can't show my...
well, no, you can show whatever you need to show. It's very nice.
Jacket makers, but
very nice.
Hey, you got to dress for the conditions, that's all.
And you have.
Yep.
Yep.
Now I need some runs.
You warm enough there?
Yep.
Yep.
Use enough dynamite there, Butch.
And Cervelli lifts one to right. Cargo almost doesn't have to move. 2 down. Colin Moran. Cervelli after hitting this ball.
Yeah. That didn't feel so good.
So if you don't barrel a ball, I guess anything's going to sting.
I was just getting ready to say, yeah, you can. You can get your hand stung in all kind of weather, but in this kind of weather, it feels worse.
Colin Moran. Behind in the count. 0-2.
Well, he grew up in Rye, New York, so he knows about raw weather. New York State.
Of course, we're rationalizing now, talking about the weather
sure.
with Corey Sullivan and Moran, where he grew up and all this, but we're talking about April 16th.
Yeah.
This isn't February.
Good point.
This is nuts. As we said, the Pirates, aside from the final game in Chicago, this past road trip, and the 3 games in Miami, the Pirates playing in temperatures average about 40 degrees or lower. We understand you had some nice weather here for a couple days, Steve.
Yeah, we had a nice summer Friday and Saturday.
Good.
Yep. It goes quick. You know, the seasons go quick.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Now back, 14 days till shopping days till Christmas.
Yeah.
But I tell you, swinging a bat, getting the swing started, getting those muscles from there where he's standing to starting a swing, I don't know. I don't know how much of an effect it is. It wasn't much of an effect for Chris Ionata. Rifled that ball to the wall in center field, but he hit that ball right on the button, so that didn't hurt.
There's Corey Dickerson there with Cervelli and a swing and a miss. Second K for Marquez.
Let's go Bucks. Say let's go Bucks.
Minnesota Twins take on the Cleveland Indians down on the island. And Pirates third base coach Joey Cora is from there, and he discussed what exactly this means for the people of his hometown.
It has been played before, but on this occasion it's more important because of what happened last year with the hurricane and everything. And this kind of telling the world, yes, we are alive, we're doing well, and we're going to get better. And the people are going to be able to see what's going on in Puerto Rico, because even though they're playing Major League Baseball right now, a lot of people are going to cover the games and they're going to see what's going on in the island, which is not even close to the way it used to be, and they still need help. So that'll be great for the Puerto Rican people.
First time Major League Baseball will have been played in Puerto Rico since 2010. Pirates, of course, scheduled to go there a couple of years ago, unable to make the trip against the Miami Marlins. But what's even cooler about that for the people down there, Greg and Steve, is that the guy who's pitching Wednesday for the Minnesota Twins is our outstanding young starter, Jose Barrios. He is from Puerto Rico, so that'll give him a little extra something to cheer for down there as well.
And there's Joey Cora, Pirates third base coach and infield instructor, and Steve Blass is headed back to Puerto Rico tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to go down there. They have a memorial celebration for Roberto Clemente's memory. A monument is going to be erected, and we're going to have a ceremony Wednesday morning from 10 to 12. And the legacy of Roberto Clemente never goes away. It's one more time to think about him, what he meant to that country, what he's meant to baseball, what he's meant to the Pittsburgh Pirates. So it's important that the Pirates have a presence down there, and I was asked to go down. I'm honored to go down there and be a part of that, and talk a little bit about Joey Cora, Sean Rodriguez, and a lot of the other Pirates who did so much after that hurricane to help send supplies down. It was a great effort. So when I make a few remarks tomorrow or Wednesday morning, that will be part of what I say. So happy to go down there. Happy to once again remember Clemente. There's Candy on the end, Frank Coonley and others, and the volume of
people at
stuff
FedEx that supplied 2 planes, and really
they were great.
I mean, the effort by the Pirate people, great, Bob nutting up, but how about Western Pennsylvania? I mean, how many people, you and I were both there taking supplies, grabbing them from cars and stacking them, and everybody just said it was like, you know, for Roberto Clemente, yes. As soon as I heard, yes.
Yeah, and the thing is, it was on short notice, because I think it was put together like the night before, and it was announced, and it started the next morning, and it never stopped on those FedEx planes. And Roberto would have been proud of the response by the city of Pittsburgh and its people, and this whole region, how they responded to that. It was so impressive.
Very touching. And a fly ball to Polanco after the line out by LeMahieu. And it was a nice play by Marte, by the way, to get back there in that line drive by LeMahieu. And it's a second straight 1-2-3 inning. That one just 9 pitches for Stephen Brault. He and the Bucks down 2-zip. of the first round series. We'll have game 4 of the series Wednesday night, part of the Bucks and Pucks doubleheader here on AT&T Sportsnet. Join us at 6 for a special hour pregame show to get you set for the Pens and Flyers. Wednesday night from Philly. Pirates will conclude their series here Wednesday afternoon. Matinee game, 12:35 against these Colorado Rockies. And then the Bucks head to Philadelphia for 4 games against the Phillies. How about that for timing?
Perfect.
Well, Marquez has not been perfect. He's given up 1 walk. He's not allowed to hit through the first couple of innings. He's got Jordy Mercer at the plate, and then Stephen Brault and Adam Frazier.
Last year, 2-0, as we said, against the Pirates. 12 innings, just 7 hits given up by Marquez. So dropped that curveball in. 3 walks, 11 strikeouts, and 12 innings of work. So he was impressive, especially the second start, where he went 7 very impressive innings out in Colorado.
Jordy Mercer has historically hit the Rockies, .347 career average against them in 31 games. So he's hitless in his last 5 contests, so he is 0 for his last 15 at bats.
You know, Greg, you got to do a lot of things to get off to a good 11-4 start. One, not the least of which, is winning a ball game 1-0 when your offense really shows nothing. But somebody's going to win that ball game if they had that 1-0 game. And went into the 9th inning scoreless, and the Pirates found a way. Didn't have to be pretty, didn't have to be a home run. It just has to be a run, and they got the run, and the Marlins didn't. And that was a very impressive win because they weren't doing much. When you don't do much, you don't win very often. But they got the win. They found a way to get a win.
We've talked about this, that now through 15 games, it's been a lot of fun, really, going back to that sign that we saw earlier, because each game has been so unique. They've won 11 of the first 15 in a number of ways. As Marquez strikes out Mercer. Stephen Brault, last time on Wednesday in Chicago, had 2 hits. Could have had a third. His last at bat was a line out with 2 hits off John Lester, the lefty hitting pitcher. Stephen Brault against one of the tougher left-handers in baseball. And Brault now a .259 career hitter.
Yeah, these aren't hitters or pitchers' swings. When you take a look at what he did in Chicago, that's not usually the way pitchers swing the bat. Those were good. They were major league swings.
He's talked before about one of the main reasons he wanted to play ball at Regis University in Denver was because they let him pitch and play the outfield. He wanted to do both. Loves this part of the game. He was thrilled when he was traded over from the Orioles. And there's a ground ball to the shortstop. Story gets him. And the story continues for Brault in that he has gone his first 29 major league plate appearances without even striking out. That is the longest streak to start a career for a pitcher since Fred Hutchison of the Tigers started his career back in the late 30s without striking out. Hutchison, 1939. Back then, the American League pitchers hit.
Went on to become a major league manager. In fact, he was managing the Reds as far back as 1964 when he came up to play against Cincinnati.
A couple of strikes on Frazier.
There at one time was a Fred Hutchinson Award.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's still in existence. I hope it is.
1-2 on Frazier.
I think it was in regard to battling illness or injury, because I know he had a tough battle with cancer. Fred Hutchinson.
Still 1-2. Frazier grounded out in the first. Again, Josh Harrison examined by Dr. Ed Birdsong. Allegheny Health Network injury update, sustaining the fracture, the 5th metacarpal, the bone just below the pinky of the left hand, exact same spot that got him against the Reds last year. Tyler Malley in early September. See, it hit off his forearm and deflected off the hand. Out approximately 6 weeks.
You see the frustration. You see absolute frustration. He's been hit so many times. He is not happy. He's not happy because he's not playing.
Yeah.
He's happy when he's playing.
Hell yeah. This will be a 1-2 inning for Marquez. It's 2-0 Colorado.
Time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
2-0 as we move to the 4th. Max Moroff is back up from AAA Indianapolis. Good chance you will see him. In fact, Clint Hurdle hinted at this, that Pirates have the lead late. You could see him filling in at second base as a defensive replacement. There's Jay Hay. Good news is they say approximately 6 weeks. It's not, that's when he would begin a rehab and go to the minor leagues. They think he would be major league ready in about 6 weeks. So, you know, look at the bright side.
Take whatever we can get.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Mr. Brault has settled in and retired the last 9 batters he's faced. So the walk, the double, the ground out, that's the 2 runs in this ball game. He's settled in.
3 line drive outs of those 9. But he's getting outs and throwing more strikes.
Yeah, nice looking fastball. Had a little tail down and in to the left-hand batter. Down and in under the swing. Not much that Blackman could do. It's even hard to talk in this weather. By the way, at the end of the 5th inning, we're going to give you school closings for tomorrow morning. So we'll stay tuned for that. Yeah. The little ones.
Broken bat.
Nicely done.
Speaking of broken bats, let's go back to the studios and a game break.
That is amazing.
Very rare, that's for sure.
Well, it speaks to the fact that the handle of the bat is like a piece of kindling wood.
And the strength of the player.
So he hits it on the good part of the bat, breaks it off down by his hands, still goes far enough to get over the wall.
Here's the guy that spoiled things for the Nats yesterday. Late, Ian Desmond.
Former National?
Former, oh yeah, came up the big leagues several years as actually drafted by the Expos. And of course was with the club when they moved from Montreal to DC. 1-2.
Now is Harper, is this the free agent year for him?
Yes, sir.
What are they going to do? Give him a small country?
Yes.
Next year.
8 homers now for Harper. But the Rockies beat the Nationals yesterday and won 3 out of 4 in that series, 2-2.
Well, if anybody's comfortable with these conditions, it's the Colorado Rockies. Simple as that. But Stephen Brault's throwing the ball where he wants to, with the kind of pitches he wants to. Right now, he's in a nice little stretch. A little string of pearls, 10 in a row.
Rockies went to the postseason last year, and now it's 3-2 after getting out in front of Desmond, who has walked once and struck out 18 times. 1 walk and 18 strikeouts.
Hope you heard that, Stephen. Brault. No, he didn't.
Not close.
Second walk. He walked the leadoff man in the ballgame.
Crazy conditions throughout the Northeast, and in Toronto the game was delayed. A Point Park University tweet as they were concerned about the ice that had gathered on the Rogers Center roof. A couple of men on the roof clearing the ice. They had to delay things for a time.
Yeah, you think about shoveling off the roof of your house, try shoveling off the roof of the Rogers Center. Take till next winter.
They ended up postponing that game after all against Kansas City. Cubs were postponed at home. The Red Sox at Fenway postponed. The Twins had all 3 games against the White Sox postponed. 3-game series at Target Field, all 3 games postponed.
It's a mess up there. I saw some weather shots of Minnesota. It's just crazy.
2-0 on Cargo, who lined out to left fielder Corey Dickerson his first at bat.
You wonder with Minnesota having the natural field now, even if they had that color of field with that material, that might have caved in under all this wet snow. They had issues with that in the past.
California native Stephen Brault has not lost a start over his last 7 such assignments. Bouncing ball, and he thought about grabbing it, but then figured someone would be there and he didn't want to mess it up, and it turns out right up the middle. With that overshift, you can understand Brault assuming that a defender would be there.
Yeah, the ball leaves the bat and you're looking for the defensive positioning. There it comes. Yeah, he backs off, pays the price. That's why so many times you will see a pitcher, if he's not sure, get the ball, because you don't know exactly what's happening behind you all the time. Even though they might set up in a certain pitch, by the time you turn and come to home plate, they might have taken a step or 2 or 3 in an opposite direction.
Ray Searage paying a 4th inning visit. Carlos Gonzalez with his first hit of the night, putting runners at first and second and 1 out, and the batter Trevor Story.
You know, Greg, that's the thing that's changed. We were taught as pitchers back in the day, I hate to keep bringing up back in the day, but back in the day, if the ball is hit toward you, you make the play, And now that's changed a little bit with the with pitchers sometimes having enough awareness to know that it's going to be better handled in back you. But if you're not sure, let's even get it down to that comment. If you're not sure, get the baseball.
I've heard both sides. People suggest that, you know, if you're not sure, unless you're really sure you can get it in this day and age, with the shifting, let it go. Because a lot of times you see the deflections off the glove, and it ends up worse than it would have been. And
they say pitchers, you know, aren't the best fielders on the infield. Well,
although Brault's a really good one.
Yeah.
Now in the soup a bit here, down 2-0. And the way Marquez has pitched against the Pirates, I feel like you can't afford to give up any more. Trevor Story flied to right in the second.
Yeah, they're playing them not that way on the infield. They're playing them to be a flat-out pull hitter on the infield.
Comes back with a couple of strikes on Story, who ended up with 24 home runs last year, 51 homers. His first 2 big league seasons, the most by any shortstop in Major League history in his first 2 Major League seasons. Talking about strikeouts with Desmond, Story has struck out 26 times, tied for the league lead. With the pop comes a lot of punch outs. Brault has struck out 1, his mound opponent. Story struck out 191 times last year, a new Rockies record, most times in the National League. Can't get him to chase. 2-2. Previous mark was set by Andres Galarraga in 1996, 157 Ks, but 191 for Story last year.
Yeah, you saw the first 3 pitches up in the zone a little bit, and as Greg said, tried to get him to bite downstairs, and a strikeout candidate many times will chase that.
Slow developing pickoff attempt.
Well, when you've got a team that hits a lot of home runs, that means they commit to pitches early. Usually that equates into a lot of strikeouts, a lot of swings and misses. You don't get the pitch you're looking for, and you're not going to get the pitch you're looking for a high percentage of the time.
Trevor Story, a first-round pick, 2011, 45th pick that year. Had sensational rookie season, shortened by injury 2 years ago. That rookie year, 2016. That season was cut short, 27 homers as a rookie. Runners break, and a drive to left, and it is going to be a 5-0 Rockies lead. Trevor Story's 4th.
And it starts off with a free pass after he retired 9 in a row. The walk to Desmond, and the base hit up the middle. That could have been that double play, and you would have Story leading off. None of that happened. What happened was a 3-run home run. See the spin on the ball? It never goes down. It stays up, elevated, and out of here.
But look at that reaction by Story. Even he was impressed. Way out of here. Second home run that Brault has allowed this season. Story admires it.
Strong stuff from a shortstop.
112 miles an hour off the bat. Estimated distance, not as impressive over the left field wall, but still 399 feet. Allegheny Health Network Supermo look at the scramble for the ball. Whoa.
But the speed that it got out of here, that didn't take long.
Impressive. 112 miles an hour. Pat Valaika lined out to Starling Marte, his first at bat.
So you take a look at those 2 at bats. The one against Desmond, a strikeout candidate, didn't get him, walked him, and then Story, he had him 1 and 2. Doesn't always happen.
And Marte, second out. Another look at the home run by Story, thanks to StatCast. The launch angle at 24 degrees. We got to start doing catch probability for fans.
Shaky.
Number 4 for Trevor Story. Frazier on to Bell, gets Parra. But it started with that walk. 5 runs for the Rockies.
Go Bucks!
Sport tickets to a Monday through Thursday home game, 4 fountain drinks, and a large 1-topping pizza from Slice on Broadway. All of this for only $100. Get your Slice family 4-pack at pirates.com/slice. To cut into this lead here, 5-0. Gregory Polanco trying to get him back on track.
1 base runner so far, and that was just the walk.
German Marquez.
He had a game last year where he took a no-hitter into the 7th inning against the Cubs before they got their first knock.
His last 9 starts going back to last year, 1-3 with a 5.19 ERA. And Polanco puts a charge into one, but it's going to die in Gerardo Parra's glove.
Sounded better than it went.
So due to injuries last year, the Rockies wound up with 4 rookies in their rotation. All at the same time, for more than a couple of months, and 5 of the 8 starters that they used for the season were 25 or younger, including Marquez, Kyle Freeland, Antonio Senzatella, John Gray, Jeff Hoffman. We'll see Kyle Freeland on Wednesday.
Well, Marquez just turned 23. He was 22 midway through spring training. 22 years old. goodness.
Couple strikes on Marte, age of rotation, youngest in the National League. Marlins, Reds, Rockies, Pirates are 5th on that list. Marte walked, the only base runner so far against Marquez.
You guys are going to Philadelphia. Somebody better cool those Phillies off.
Yeah.
They've won 6 in a row.
Bat breaks. Splits it right in half.
Yeah, now that ball didn't go off the bat and over the fence like Harper's did.
No.
The spear.
Got him looking. Marquez fired up, 4th K. That ends the Marte string.
We talked about him being a part of that scrum, so only went 3+ innings his last time out. And the time before that, as we said, the Atlanta Braves got to him for 7 earned runs in 4+ innings. So he is back in form so far tonight.
Struck out Bell with Marte at 3rd and 2 outs in the 1st. Interesting to see different teams, how they defend Bell. A lot of teams just defend him straight up because he's such a hard batter to figure out. He's always adjusting. Well, they overshift him. See that?
Yeah, and he's proven that he can go to left field pretty well. We've seen it so many times that he will wait. He's shown himself to have a good eye, wait long enough to push the ball the opposite way.
He's having some trouble figuring out Marquez. Well, all the Pirates are early on here. A little dribbler to Desmond. And the Pirates go down in order. Marquez has not allowed a hit through his 4. Stephen Brolt back to the hill. The 1996 Pirates beat the Cardinals 13-3. Bucco offense got going early. First 3 batters reached base. Orlando Merced, a grand slam. And in the 6th inning, Jay Bell hit the Bucs' 2nd grand slam. Orlando Merced, Keith Osick, Carlos Garcia, and Al Martin each had 3 hits on the day. Jeff King had 4 knocks this day. 1996, 5-0 in the 5th. In favor of the Rockies. Their pitcher, German Marquez, struck out against Stephen Brolt. Joe Vogel.
Baseball Joe.
24/7, Joe Vogel. Nice stop, but an infield hit for Marquez. Nice stop, but
too much ground to cover.
Yeah. He is one of the great Pirate fans of all time, Joe Vogel. He was the driving force behind getting the Clemente statue erected. He started a petition, would not be denied. He thought that the Pirates in Pittsburgh needed a Clemente statue, and his undying love for this team. He suffered a severe stroke, oh heck, probably 20 years ago, and now he communicates via tablet.
He is
emails.
all baseball.
Yep.
He had a lot to do with the Maz start of,
yeah, he did.
of that drive to have a Bill Mazeroski statue when nobody else was doing it. He's early on that stuff.
Moran on to second. A play made by Frazier on the backhand gets LeMahieu on the force play. Brings up Chris Iannetta. Aaron Judge, fastest player in Major League history to hit 60 career homers in his 197th career game. It's his 4th of the year. Yankees up 7-0. Clint Hurdle on the bullpen phone. Kyle Crick recently up. Iannetta doubled home LeMahieu in the first. See him wearing that, what is becoming a really popular batting helmet with that C cup extension. He was hit by a pitch as a member of the Diamondbacks by the Pirates last year. Johnny Barbado hit him in the face. Suffered a concussion. Look at that bat barrel follows the baseball, but Mercer, Frazier, and Bell turned it into an inning-ending double play.
Well, Corey Dickerson steps up to the plate. He is tomorrow's guest on the first Twitter Tuesday of 2018. Fans, you could ask him anything you want. Use the hashtag Bucks Tuesday. Send him in right now. Let's get to know the new Bucks left fielder just a little bit better. Greg and Steve, Twitter Tuesday returning for its 6th season. Corey Dickerson should be a pretty good guest for a guy who's off to a pretty good start to the year.
I'll tell you what, he is such an interesting guy, Corey Dickerson, because he takes this game and this process so seriously. Loves, we said this before, the atmosphere in the clubhouse, and he's never had as much fun. Started his major league career 3 years with the Rockies and then traded to Tampa Bay. So he's a cerebral player. And he flies out to right for the first out here, the 5th. Let's go back to the studio for a game break. Thank you, Rob. You wonder how many he's going to end up with? How many will Stanton end up with? They lead that 7-zip against the Marlins, that interleague game. Francisco Cervelli flying to right in the 2nd. Pirates looking for their first hit. Only base runner, a walk to Starling Marte with 2 outs in the 1st.
Can never compare with the Maris and Mantle duel of 1961, I wonder. It's conceivable.
Yeah.
Very conceivable.
The Yankees off to a sluggish start at 7-7. Boston Red Sox at 13-2. And they were postponed with Baltimore at Fenway tonight. Joey Cora's brother, Alex, the manager, first-year skipper in Boston. 3-1 on Cervelli. Trying to get something started here against German Marquez. Tyler Glass now up. Looks like he will be coming on in the 6th. Cervelli going to try to drop one in front of the right fielder, and he will, and it gets past Cargo. Cervelli will have a triple out of this.
Easy triple.
Stand-up triple, and you can certainly admire and appreciate what Carlos Gonzalez just did. He's very well aware of the no-hitter. It's early, and that is going all out for his pitcher.
Yep, exactly. Exactly.
Not much of a chance, and you're ahead 5-0. It's worth the gamble.
Yep, everybody knows what's going on. And there's the commitment.
That's a heck of an effort. Nobody appreciates it more than his pitcher.
Yeah, that's an example of a guy getting down on the grass when it really has significant meaning, not the catch and then the tumble.
Francisco Cervelli out of the box. Once he sees it skip, he knows.
Yep.
He's going to get 3 out of it.
Yep. The rest of the trip is very comfortable.
The bench going through the steering wheel that they've been doing this year. There's a drive the other way by Moran, plenty deep, you would think. Gerardo Parra, the Gold Glover. Heck of an effort by him as well. Look at that throw. All the way toward the plate, but a sacrifice fly for Moran, and the Bucks are on the board. It's 5-1.
Okay. First hit, first run, breakthrough. The catch. You see that? That ball is trying to outrace the runner. Significant distance. Nothing to lose on that play, just turn it loose.
Yep.
Show off your arm. And you did.
Cervelli's triple scores. The Pirates on the board. And we said there have been really 11 different ways they've won ball games this season. This would be their best comeback, the early going. Mercer 0 for his last 16. Stephen Brault on deck. You wouldn't waste a pinch hitter, you wouldn't think. Well, we'll see. He's got a bat. David Freese on deck, 2-2.
You see by that grid what Marquez is doing, just feeding him everything right down at the bottom of the strike zone. Downstairs, downstairs.
Now a pop-up. And it's the second baseman, LeMahieu, puts it away. Bucks get their first hit and first run. Trail 5-1.
TNT Sportsnet is brought to you by Barrel Automotive. Our service centers are now open evenings and weekends. Visit barrelservice.com for more. And by Allegheny Health Network, official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates and fans like you. Let's go Bucks!
It is 5-1, the first of a 3-game series homestand against the Colorado Rockies. Back at it tomorrow night and Wednesday afternoon, then on the road for 4 in Philly, back home. Interleague play with the Tigers, and then the division rival Cardinals come in. Stephen Brault trying to give Clint Hurdle one more inning. Charlie Blackmon 0 for 2, but picked up an RBI with his ground out in the first. And a base hit.
And that's what Charlie Blackmon does.
Leading off the inning. Singles to left. Kids won't want to miss the chance to be the Moe's Pirate Parrots sidekick before a Bucko home game. And 6 to 14 years of age can join the Parrot in pregame festivities on the field here at PNC Park. Enter for your chance to be the Pirate Parrot sidekick at participating Moe's Southwest Grill locations now through May the 6th. Bundled up on a Monday night, middle of April. Stephen Brault faces Ian Desmond. Walked him in the 4th. Year-old native of Sarasota, Florida. Second year of a 5-year deal. Now up is Kyle Crick. that 8-man bullpen, which is becoming almost the standard. Seems like every time we play different series, you look and everybody Pirates have played 8-man bullpen. The Rockies, Marlins had it, Cubs.
I wonder if the Rockies kind of pioneered it with all the offense in their ballpark and that sort of thing.
Nice little pick there by Bell. And Brault did not get over to cover. Otherwise, that could have been a double play, but nice pickup by Josh Bell. Short hop, backhand.
Let's see what Stevens doing here. Yep, the hesitation, and
it looked like he was thinking that was going to get through and was going to back up third base.
Yep.
It was his first thought rather than heading over to cover the bag at first.
That's a couple times now he's kind of made individual decisions on what to do with the ball.
In both cases, he might change the approach, right?
Yeah.
It was the ball that Carlos Gonzalez hit in the fourth up the middle. Looked as though Brault made the decision not to try and glove it, figuring with the overshift that an infielder would be there.
Yeah, and just to go back that one more time, I think you've got to be sure that they're there. If you're not sure, you got to take the ball. You've got your back to the play. You're concentrating on the batter. If you know they're there, if it's an absolute, yeah, okay. But if not, he's a good enough athlete to make a good throw to second base.
Ball to strike on Cargo. Stephen Brault's fourth appearance, third start, working with Francisco Cervelli.
Yeah, last time out against the Cubs, 5 innings, 4 runs. So the last 10 innings have not been very successful for Stephen.
Joe Musgrove still on the disabled list, figures to get back now maybe a month or so. Dickerson. Runner at first tags. Dickerson throws to second and out at second base. Double play gets Desmond. Again, Corey Dickerson is fundamentally sound as it gets. Another assist for Corey Dickerson. Good work from Mercer, too.
Yeah, because they tried to deke him with the hand and avoid the tag on the outfield side of second base, and Jordy stayed with the tag. Nicely done.
Major league leader with 4 outfield assists. Tried to advance from first to second on a ball hit the fairly deep left field, but Corey Dickerson doubled him up, and now here's Max Moroff, his first major league at bat this season, coming up today to replace Josh Harrison on the roster. Max Moroff, 16th round pick in 2012, 120 at bats last year, hit 200 with 3 homers. He was playing at the AAA Indianapolis this season and hit 280 with the Indians. A couple doubles, a triple. Drove in 5, walked 6 times. And he's caught looking.
Well, you talk about 3 pitches thrown exactly where that pitcher wanted to throw them. Marquez was right on target. Take a look again. This working worth another look. Corey Dickerson, the catch, strong throw, and then really good tag work by Jordy Mercer. Well done on both ends.
Adam Frazier has grounded out to second twice as Jordy Mercer back in the dugout applied that tag, stuck with it. And it's going to be 3 ground balls to DJ LeMahieu tonight for Frazier. 1 hit allowed by German Marquez. That was the Cervelli triple last inning.
And he's making it look pretty easy. This is Tyone-like from a couple Sundays ago. Except not as good.
Boy, interesting to see. It's been Kyle Crick and Tyler Glass now, but every half inning, back and forth. Polanco has flied out twice. Two and one on Polanco. Late go over, still 2 and 2. Stays 2 and 2 on Polanco. We got a note today from a longtime season ticket holder, Annette Truax. Her husband Ryan Truax passed away not too long ago. Thoughts and prayers go out to the Truax family. Great Bucco fan, longtime season ticket holder, and she continues to cheer on her Buccos. 3 and 2 on Polanco. On Marquez. And a 2-out walk. See if Pirates can get some 2-out action going. Starling Marte to the plate. Pirates 6-pack is here. Helps you save on great seats at PNC Park. Choose any 6 games throughout the season. Lock in prices for your favorite seating category. Plans start as low as $114, and for a limited time, each 6-pack comes with $15 in loaded value. Good for concessions and merchandise. You go to pirates.com/6-pack for more information. Marte has walked and struck out looking. Marquez would be due up 4th. This might be it for him. 6th inning, you see the 90 pitches.
He has given up just 1 home run so far this year.
And a couple of strikes.
Yep, gets away with a high breaking ball. Now, they guess a lot. If you're guessing high breaking ball inside, that was the perfect guess. That was a great, great location if you're thinking in that direction. Power up and in.
But surprised they're paying as much attention to Polanco.
Gregory is too. A little surprised. But now getting a little frisky over there.
I don't think he has any intention of going anywhere, but he certainly is drawing the attention to Marquez, though that didn't seem to work when Marte was dancing down the third baseline in the first. He struck out Josh Bell. See if Marte can get aboard, and maybe Bell hit a bomb. And he does go. It's a drive toward left center field. And Polanco will score as Starling Marte rips one into left center. And he's headed toward third, and he is going to be there with a triple. And it's 5-2.
And the plot thickens.
Rips it into left center field. Make it a 5-2 game. Marte picks up his 7th RBI, and Polanco was off after all. Down 5-1 in the 6th and 2 outs, and a couple of strikes on the batter. Now you need a big 2-out hit from Bell. Jay Hay still very much involved.
Yep, big base hit, error, balk, anything. You got a man on the doorstep, something freaky, get him in home.
Angle, this camera angle looking toward Parra and the triple.
Yeah, he had to go a long way. Wasn't playing particularly deep. He had to cut a big angle.
Well, he's 1-2 on Bell. Into the notch it goes.
Yeah, he sees the possibility of 3, I think, before he gets to first base.
Oh, Bell goes down swinging at a high fastball. Pirates get 1, trailing 5-2. 5-2, Gregory Polanco scoring. Second run, and Marte tripled him home. And here's the StatCast on Marte. You can see who really turned it on at this point. Got it up to 29.2 feet per second. The StatCast showing how fast Marte can be. It does it really gracefully. Tyler Glasnow now against Trevor Story.
So Brault goes 6. That's the good news, but going 6 gave up 5 runs, a couple of walks, a strikeout.
Story, that home run, the big one, big hit in this ball game. 2 on and 1 out in the 4th.
That's the difference as Cervelli goes out and talks to Glasnow. Glasnow was part of that, 13-5 game in Chicago. He got knocked around last Wednesday.
Barrel League leaders, home runs. Rockies now lead the league with 25. Pirates tied for 3rd. And does not get that call. And he walks him to start this 7th inning.
And the walks have started the innings of the scoring. Leadoff walk in the 1st, 1-out walk in the 4th led to all 5 Colorado runs. Continually point out these are opportunities for Tyler Glasnow to not only get work in, but see if something will fall into place. See if we can get on a little bit of a roll to build confidence.
Ball 1. Here's the Hart High School matchup. Glasnow against Pat Valleca. And there have been several big leaguers to come out of Hart High School. The first was Greg Garrett, pitcher for the Angels and Reds in the early 70s. Bob Walk, Todd Zeal, Trevor Bauer, of course, pitching for the Indians. Here's the strike.
A little hesitation on the call, but Tyler gets one from Dan Iasonia.
Bob Walk.
Bob thought it was a strike.
Maybe the most famous alum, Mike Montgomery of the Chicago Cubs. Is a Hart High School product. Two and one on Pat Valleca. His brother Chris played in the big leagues. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw is strong, but not in time to get Story his 3rd steal.
Good jump.
Wow, heck of a block by Cervelli to keep Story at 2nd.
Wow. That was very good work. That spin could have taken that ball either direction. It hit about 2 feet in front of home plate.
Line towards center. Here comes Marte again.
The ball hung up nice for him. Big out for Tyler Glasnow right there.
Valleca's the first out in the 7th. Now Gerardo Parra. Wow, this time nothing Cervelli could do. And desperately trying to keep it close. Using that body.
Wow, just throws the curveball right down into the dirt. Just spikes it. It's overthrowing it. It just trying to do too much, too speed, too perfect and hard. Impressive curveball. You're just holding on, throwing it too hard, holding on too long.
Infield in. Dickerson again with Story at third, and he will hold Story at third base.
Nowhere to go. Short fly ball to left. They can leave him there. This would be big. This part team is still in this ball game. No thought of taking off.
Pinch hitter Mike Tauchman bats for Marquez. Pinch hit single yesterday for Tauchman that snapped an 0 for 14 streak to start the season for him. Oh, you could hear the grunt by Cervelli.
That's taking a shot there. Check the equipment, see if that held up all right. That's called getting your cage rattled.
Boy, got him.
That's
good.
Flush. Out in front 0-2.
Man. Jams him.
Nice job.
Glasnow will put up a scoreless 7th. Despite the walk, the steal, and a wild pitch. LeMahieu. Chris Iannetta doubled off the right center field fence to score LeMahieu. And then Iannetta would score on a ground out by Charlie Blackmon to the first baseman, Josh Bell. And with 2 on and 1 out in the 4th, Trevor Story lines his 4th home run of the season. Francisco Cervelli would triple in the 5th with a no-hitter on the line. Carlos Gonzalez gives it up to try and make a great catch. Colin Moran follows with a sacrifice fly to Parra that scores Cervelli easily from 3rd. And then Chris Dickerson, a big defensive play on the ball hit by Carlos Gonzalez in the 6th. Ian Desmond tags, tries to move up. He's tagged out by Jordy Mercer. Starling Marte with Gregory Polanco at first and 2 outs. Triples home Polanco, his 7th RBI this season. Bucks get to within 3. They're still friends.
We think.
Corey Dickerson going to start the inning with the base hit up the middle.
Chris Russin for the Rockies. 7th appearance.
One of 3 lefties in the bullpen for Buddy Black. Chris Russin, veteran. 90 relief appearances with the Rockies. 2.77 ERA. That is the lowest ERA by a Rockies reliever in team history. Here is Cervelli.
They've got some action in their bullpen. Not right now. Well, they do have action. Adam Ottavino has worked 10 innings with 20 strikeouts, averaging 2 an inning, and he's not even the closer. There he is. Time.
Leica goes on to second to get 1. Races Dickerson. It's about the journey, not the destination, unless the destination is $5.6 million. Download the Beat the Streak app today and start your streak for a chance to win $5.6 million. Colin Moran will face the lefty, Chris Russin.
They got Ottavino, then Wade Davis, who has saved 7 of their 9 wins.
A little stumble by Valaika, gets the throw off and turns it into a double play.
That's impressive right there, what he did, throwing from...
Nolan Arenado will appreciate it.
Yeah, sitting on his butt, going 6-4-3. Check this out.
Playing the shortstop position.
On the backside.
Starting pitching matchup tomorrow, Chad Bettis against Trevor Williams. Coverage starts at 6:30. And then the finale of the series on Wednesday afternoon, Kyle Freeland, the lefty, against Chad Kuhl. Coverage starts at noon. Pirates on the road for 4 in Philly. Here's Trevor Williams. He starts tomorrow night. He's off to a great start.
Greg, I'm very anxious to see what Glasnow does here in the top of the 8th, but as I always am. But it looked like that at bat against Tauchman, the pinch hitter, he looked free and easy in that at bat, and you just look for little ticks or little things that could maybe designate a starting point of something. Had a bad-looking breaking ball there, not as close as he'd like it to be.
Better than the couple that he threw.
Yeah, those spikes.
Yeah.
And that ball kind of thrown free and easy.
LeMahieu is retired. Brings up Chris Iannetta. A previous pitch, about a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, a little up at the LeMahieu weakly hit to second.
Yeah, I'm not only looking at the speed and everything, I'm looking how the body language, the mechanics, the rhythm, if you will, looking to see if I can see it. I thought I started seeing something good with the 3 deliveries to Tauchman, and then pretty good work against LeMahieu. 1-1 here. Yeah, a strike. He doesn't want it that high with a breaking ball,
except
but
with the previous pitch at 95.
Yes, it can
you go to this.
That. Yeah.
I mean, see what Iannetta does.
Yeah, it's encouraging. And yeah, it locks him up because he was involved with the speed.
And again, a breaking ball that's up, but
yep, the speed.
To your point about the kind of the delivery that gets on these guys so quick, and he retires Iannetta.
You'd love to be able to circle something and say, hey, something good started here.
Glasnow's like players over the years. We want them to get on a roll offensively, and the guy's in a big slump, and you say, okay, we did that hit, that swing, that did it, because they can get a roll. And we've been doing it with Glasnow.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's 2 different ways. He can do it pitch after pitch. He can do it 4 or 5 times in an inning. The batter has 4 times a night, or 4 opportunities.
A really good pitch there.
Yeah, didn't get it. Delivered right on the corner.
Charlie Blackmon.
And Glasnow dropping a nice breaking ball in.
1-2 the count. The league's leading hitter last year.
Now out in front of the count, let's see what he wants to do here. Yeah. Okay, try to induce a high swing, chase.
Pattern here, he goes the high fastball, now tries to drop the breaking ball on him. 2-2.
Back. Blackman's such a good hitter, but really can't do anything with that curveball. It's too good and it's too far downstairs. He'll take that many times.
And now 3-2.
Yeah, a little scatter effect with the fastballs here.
Back with a fastball up in the zone.
And Blackman's got to be looking for that fastball, and he was still a little behind it. So the fastball is still the impressive thing. And when he throws his good curveballs, I mean that's double trouble. But he's not been able to do it consistently enough and throw the quality strikes. Good test for him this at bat.
Oh, rip to right, Charlie Blackman. 3-2 pitch and hammered over the right field wall.
Charlie Blackman wins that test. Looking for the heat, got it.
Number 7 for Blackman. A 6-2 lead for the Rockies.
Well, he looked for something there and he got it, and he just crushed that ball. Not far enough inside.
Good look there on the Allegheny Health Network Super Mauve.
Is that what you call being locked in,
Yeah.
or what? Locked and loaded. That one's got the sound and the ride.
.95 miles per hour.
Got to be able to get that call every once in a while. I look at the grid and I wonder sometimes, because those little balls on the line, sometimes they're strikes, sometimes they're balls. I mean, there's such inconsistency. I don't know if there's anything wrong with the grid, or it's just the various umpires.
Tonight's umpire Dan Isanya.
We got that one. It's still kind of the human element of the umpires, and I don't really have that much trouble with that. Trying to finish off the 8th inning after 2 outs. Done well, but then Blackman took him deep. Tyler, you're not the only one. This guy's hit a lot of good pitchers.
The strikeout of Desmond. Charlie Blackman, it's his 7th home run. Happy birthday.
by the Chevy Silverado and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
First pitch strike to Jordy Mercer. The Bucks now down by 4. Chris Russin, scoreless 7th. Mercer in a funk, 0 for 2 in this one. David Freese on deck. Charlie Blackmon. A home run. Trevor Story, 3-run shot. 2 big blows tonight.
Yeah, the Rockies, who lead the National League in home runs, did not hurt their cause tonight with those 2.
Trying to make a swinging bunt hit out of this. He'll take it.
Yep.
And he'll snap the 0 for 17 hitless streak for Jordy Mercer. Let's see if this doesn't start something. And as you enjoy a Miller Lite, look forward to the Hold True moment later in tonight's game. David Freese bats for Glass now.
How many times have we said, don't ever look away from a Colorado Rockies game, all the years, all the offense. But it looks like Bud Black and the Rockies have really tried to strengthen their bullpen, and their bullpen looks strong right now. It really does. Russin, Ottavino, Davis.
Yeah, they picked up Wade Davis. Rockies team that went 87 and 75 last year as Ottavino continues to loosen. That ended a string of 6 straight losing seasons for the Rockies and improved their wins total by 12 from the previous year. They were 41 and 23 with a 2.5 game lead on June the 10th last year, went 46 and 52 the rest of the way. So they settled for the wild card, lost that game to the Diamondbacks. But they were one of the surprises last year, and they also had a winning record on the road. The second time in the last 25 years a Colorado Rockies team had a winning team on the road as they celebrate the 25-year anniversary of this team. This year they have started out with a winning road record. Down on strikes goes David Freese, and it brings up Adam Frazier. Hey, Steve, you're going to be in Puerto Rico tomorrow, and I guess you're flying back on Wednesday?
Yes,
yeah.
Wednesday, yeah, all day long.
We won't be able to wish you a happy birthday.
You can now.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and any kind of gift or
no,
a little something
you'll get
for the
nothing
effort?
like it.
Oh, all right.
But happy birthday to
there
28.
Is. That's the great gift right there, 1971.
Series ring in 71. Helped lead the way. 2 complete game victories, including that precious Game 7 in Baltimore. Mr. B, happy birthday,
Thank
Steve
you.
Blass.
Thank you very much.
And hashtag Bucks Booth if you want to wish Steve a happy birthday wish. We'll do it via social media.
Be doing a little celebrating, standing next to the memorial for Roberto Clemente. Not all bad.
That'll be pretty cool.
Honored to be down there.
I see the promotions department gave you an early birthday present with the ski cap. How many times has it snowed on your birthday?
Not very. Ever. Never, 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 never.
Unreal.
Never, ever.
Steve, you're welcome to have a parrot hat too. That'll be my gift. Happy birthday to Steve. All right.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Blass.
And a mister. Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Good looking young folks with good looking hats.
Thanks to those young fans, because that'll be our card.
You're off the hook now.
Yeah.
You're off the hook.
Anything but a ground ball to second, huh? For Frazier, how about a line drive over first?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Second straight strikeout for Russin. He gets Freeze and Frazier. Polanco drew a walk and scored on the Marte triple in the 6th. Couple of men on that right side, that'll do it. Pirates retired in the 8th. Starts for the Pirates against Chad Bettis. Coverage starts at 6:30 with Pirates pregame, presented by W.B. Mason.
Hey, Greg, got a nice note. I had the phone out here, and a message comes up.
A tweet?
Yeah, a message of some kind. And my old buddy Frank Bork,
how about that?
Former Pirate pitcher, said happy birthday. Frank and I came up through the minor leagues together, and we had ourselves a time in 1962 playing for Harding Pete Peterson.
Oh man!
And he won 19, and I won 17. We tore up the Carolina League.
How sweet was that?
Yeah. Frank made it to the big
Look at all
leagues.
these tweets, by the way. Thanks to all these folks. Steve Glass.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. Time's a wasting. You know, the clock
Hashtag
keeps
Bucks
ticking.
Booth. Happy birthday. Safe travels.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you very much. Had a lot of good birthdays since signing with the Pittsburgh Pirates back in 1960. A lot of good birthdays. A lot of them involved. Most of them involved baseball, and a lot of them involved the Pittsburgh Pirates.
There's been no better ambassador over these many, many years since he signed his first pro contract.
Been fun. How smart was I signing in 1960 out of high school, knowing kind of subconsciously the Pirates are going to win the World Series?
Yeah.
Not a bad year
Right.
to sign. But I did come to Pittsburgh to try out, and the Pirates lost a doubleheader to the Cubs the day I worked out with Bob Oldest. Catcher. That doubleheader loss probably cost me about $8 or $9 in bonus money.
Kyle Crick retires Carlos Gonzalez. Again, Steve, happy birthday and safe travels, and it is an absolute joy on behalf of all these Bucco fans. And another tweet. Do we have a statue of Mr. Blass? Let's get Baseball Joe on that.
No, not a statue.
At least a bobblehead night. Well, we've had a couple of those.
Not a statue, just a kind of yield sign.
Yeah.
How about a yield sign?
A yield sign.
Hey, Joe.
Joe Vogel.
Get on. By the way, Frank Bork now in Columbus. I think Frank still lives on the one of the fairways at Muirfield.
Jordy Mercer going to try to rob Story, and does.
Beautiful play. Look at him winding up in short right center field.
It's a hit for now. We'll see if they challenge.
It's a hit. I thought they.
I mean, it's an out. We'll see if the Rockies challenge. Yeah, they are going to. I'm going to say it's going to end up probably being a hit. They were pretty quick to challenge it.
But you're down big in a ball game, and there's some late inning effort.
Yeah. We'll see. Look at he helped Network Supermo. And he's going to be safe.
Yeah. Well, A for effort, Jordy Mercer, for sure.
Great try.
Should always tip your cap to effort.
So it'll be an infield hit for Trevor Story. The challenge and the call is overturned. I'll bring up Pat Valleca.
There's the foot contact, and yeah. You got it right. By the way, the first time I ever heard the phrase knuckle curve, that was Frank Bork's pitch.
Really?
Helped
How about
him get
that?
to the big leagues. Yep, knuckle curve, where that knuckle was involved instead of just the fingers flat on the baseball, that knuckle effect.
Frank Bork, Buffalo, New York native, who was signed as an amateur free agent by the Pirates in 1960. Several years in their farm system, made it to the big leagues in '62.
He signed in '60.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got there quick.
Made it to Pittsburgh in '64, I should say. '62 was the year you and he had that great year in the Carolina League.
Came up with guys, Tommy Sisk. People might remember Tommy Sisk. Good major league career. Remember, there was something going on when Frank got sent back down to the minor leagues. Guy was hanging up a sword at Forbes, or a sign at Forbes Field. Bring back Bork. Like Frank Buck, the old hunter.
Yeah.
Bring back Buck. Bring back Bork.
A 4-pitch walk after the infield hit. Kyle Crick walks Pat Valleca. 2 on for Gerardo Parra.
Left fielder Gerardo Parra.
A trip to the mound for Cervelli. Kyle Crick recently called up, making his Pirates debut.
By the way, Greg, I had this note and didn't get it in. Condolences out to the Frickman family out in California. Eddie Frickman passed away, a good friend when he come into Pittsburgh, Ginny Justy's brother. So the Justy family obviously grieving that loss. Eddie, he's one of those guys that brought a lot of brightness into just about every room he walked into. Eddie Frickman, a good man, and got to know him through his family here in Pittsburgh. Ginny, his sister, and Dave, the brother-in-law, David Justy. Sorry to hear that news.
1-0 count on Parra. Parra is 0 for 3. Stephen Brault went 6. He's on the hook for this, gave up 5 runs.
Glass now a couple innings, the 1 run on 1 hit, the home run.
Crick came over from the Giants in the Andrew McCutchen deal. Double barrel action. Scott Oberg joins Adam Ottavino. Two and two the count. Crick 30 games last year for the Giants out of their bullpen, a 3.06 ERA. Sandwich pick between the first and second rounds back in 2011. And Bell hits the runner. It sounded like it hit the runner and skips to Mercer. A heck of a play there by Mercer to get an out. Nice pickup by Bell. Could be wrong, but that's what it sounded like.
Yes, it did.
Second out.
For the Rockies, number 24, Ryan McMahon will bat for Russell.
Just clipped him. A lot of traffic over there. Good work from Jordy Mercer. As Ryan McMahon is announced as the pinch hitter.
Here's one for you, Greg. It snowed April 18th, the year PNC Park opened. The game was snowed out and played later on the day. Giles hit a grand slam to win the game of the night. How sad. I can't dispute it because I have no idea.
McMahon. Man, the pinch hitter, you see 077. PNC Park opened that late, April 18th.
Well, it snowed April 18th, the year.
Oh, I see, okay. Tied up, 0-2. Well, was not aware of that. How about that?
I think that's from our friend Jules Lobel.
Well, Jules knows.
Who's on it? He's a great baseball fan.
He's on it. Don't question Jules. Whoa.
Good save.
Runner takes off and reaches second.
Good save. Got to go up in the air for that one.
Stolen base for Parra. His first.
That's one of those catches that's a really completely turn around and maybe carry out a fake and get the guy to commit from third base.
Ryan McMahon, the pinch hitter, 2-2. Gets him looking. Last shot for the Bucks, down 4. shots from the Allegheny Health Network. Super Bowl, part of tonight's action. 6-2. And Starling Marte leads things off against Adam Ottavino.
We were talking about him earlier. 10 innings, 20 strikeouts, 1 walk. That's pretty strong. Opponent's hitting 0-71. That kind of action would get you a closer's role on some teams, maybe a lot of teams.
One of those players who wears 0. Ottavino claimed off waivers from the Cardinals 6 years ago. Takes care of Marte. Marte on base twice. Has struck out twice. Bell also has struck out twice. Those 3 uncomfortable at bats against German Marquez. The starter would win his first game if Ottavino can get 2 more outs.
Couple of big sweepers. That one right on the outside corner, the old roundhouse backdoor call, 3rd strike curve.
32 years old, Adam Ottavino, one-time first-round pick of the Cardinals out of Northeastern University. Still 1-2. First of 3 with the Rockies, and Colorado not hitting the Pirates 7-4, leading 6-2. Corey Dickerson on deck. Marquez struck out 6 in 6 innings, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. Chris Russin, a couple of scoreless. Just a very unusual series of at-bats for Josh Bell. He normally does not look as uncomfortable as he did tonight. That was just one of for Jeff Branson and Josh Bell. Just put that one to bed this night. You just don't see him do this.
That one looked like a spin on a breaking ball that just never spun and stayed out there. Maybe he thought it was going to just cut way in like the big sweepers that he's been throwing.
No, the last at bat, remember, Bell chased way up.
Yep. Ottavino will at least maintain his pace of 2 strikeouts an inning. He got the first 2.
Trevor Williams will try and quiet these Rockies bats tomorrow. Takes his 3-0 record and 1.56 ERA to the mound against Chad Bettis, who, like Jameson Tyone, underwent testicular cancer surgery. Bettis's journey was even longer. His return. He and J-Mo become good friends.
Yep.
Tylen currently leads the league with an ERA of 0.89. His teammate Trevor Williams and that 1.56 ERA, 5th lowest. Early going in the National League. Bettis's 2.04 ERA is 10th lowest. And that will do it. Tonight the Pirates offensively really didn't look good. Charlie Blackmon and the Rockies, meantime, keep it rolling. After winning 3 of 4 in DC, they take the first of this 3-game series in Pittsburgh.
And a strong bullpen. This is a different look Colorado Rockies team at the end of this particular ball game for sure.
6-2 final. Rockies out hit the Pirates 7-4. It hit the 2 home runs. Trevor Story, the 3-run line drive home run in the 4th off starter Stephen Brault, gave the Rockies a 5-0 lead, and they didn't look back. We'll go out now to Rob and Michael.
Greg and Steve, thanks very much. It's an unusual Colorado Rockies team, Michael, because they don't hit for a high average, but they hit a ton of home runs.
Yeah, I think it was 18.7 going into today in home runs.